Good, beautiful morning, everybody. Welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. Today, I want to share some ideas they've been giving me over the weekend about this process that humanity is in right now, that we are at this time of awakening. Your time for awakening is here now. It's not going to be later. It's not going to be when the earth goes through this big shift. Your time for awakening is here now. And there's a lot of people that want to remain asleep in their anger, in their rage, in their fear, their guilt, their shame, their judgment, their violence, their aggression. You are asleep. You are asleep if you are in violence. You're asleep if you're in judgment. You're asleep if you're living in fear and anger, guilt and shame. You're stuck asleep in the body, in the belief that your life is somehow threatened by what somebody else says or does. And it's important you understand that your time for awakening is right now. This is the time for you to awaken. What does awaken mean? I asked them, I said, what do you mean by awaken? What is it that you want me to tell people about what this awakening is? And they said, it's about understanding who and what you are, that your emotions, your thoughts, and your body are not the source of you. Your emotions, your thoughts, and your body are not the source of you. The source of you is divine. It is a function of love and not fear. Your mind and your body and your emotions are all mechanisms of survival for the most part in this dimension. If you are in aggression, you are in survival. If you are in fear, you are in survival. If you are in judgment, you are in survival. You are not awake, you are asleep. If you are aggressive and cruel and impatient and mean, you are asleep. And there are many millions of you that are still very, very much asleep. All around this great world, the awakening is already well underway. And there are those that align themselves to the true source of who you are, which is divine. It is love. It is creation. It is compassion and kindness, playfulness, patience, cooperation. And yet there are well in excess of 1 billion of you that are asleep, living in your fear, living in survival, waiting for your next meal to walk by so that you can pounce on it. Even the wild animals understand the economics of their survival in a rational way. They do not wantonly go out destroying and harming. Even animals are more developed, more awake than those of you in the human realm that are not awake. You are less than the animal in many respects, that you can't distinguish between your divinity and your survival. And there's a very simple and easy way for you to recognize the difference. If you're violent and aggressive, you are not coming from your source. You're coming from your ego, your mind. Your body's mechanisms are distorting you to survive. You believe your survival is dependent upon the type of car someone drives, and your survival is dependent upon these things. And you believe that. And so you are acting not as an animal would even act, but as an individual that is lost in the illusion of the self. Your time to awaken is now. It will not be tomorrow. It will not be when you make your millions. It will not be when you found the love of your life. It will not be when you have all the things that you think you need, want, and desire from the world. Your awakening is to happen right now. Restore yourself to grace. Restore yourself to patience and compassion and kindness and gentleness. Can you feel the difference? Can you feel the difference between the two? That love and compassion, kindness, cooperation, patience, perseverance have a very different quality of energy to them than does the ego, the part of you that believes that your life depends upon what someone else will say or do. You must remember your divinity. Your divinity is remarkable, infinite, eternal. It cannot run out of love, nor patience, nor kindness. It will not run out of reason or logic or understanding. And so many of you are reacting to your environment, not with any of your divine attributes, but with your lower vibrational influences. And yes, there are influences upon your world right now in great numbers, both good and evil. And it's very easy to recognize when you're being represented by evil, when you're being influenced by it. We've seen it many times where you do things and afterwards you go, oh my goodness, I should not have done that. Or you try to pretend that you didn't even do it because you realize how much that evil influences you. You must realize that if you are in violence or aggression, you're not in your divinity. You are in and under the influence of evil. It is a real energy that there are entities and beings that will delight in you being aggressive and violent and evil. Just as there are entities that will work with you in your joy and your love and your compassion, you align yourself to your divinity. This is the awakening, to remember your divinity, to forget the animal, to forget this whole aspect of your being that thinks that survival is the only way to exist and that you must remove anything that is perceived as a threat, even when it is not. And many of you perceive threats that are not real. Many of you refuse to look at evidence and weigh information to properly come to an understanding of what is really true. And yet you are fully capable of doing so. But if you are being influenced by demonic energies, lower vibrational elements, you can be blinded. You can be caught up in the movement of rage, the movement of attack, the movement of ignorance, not necessarily by your own will, but by the will of that would influence you to be such, that you would do harm to others. This is not your divinity. Your awakening is not in anger. Your awakening is not in fear. Your awakening is not in impatience. Your awakening is here and now when you align to kindness and patience and compassion, peace. The idea that you believe you can fight to make peace is the absolutely most ludicrous consideration a person can weigh in their mind. You must fight for peace. Do you understand the contradiction there? How that is not your divinity? How that is not being awakened? Do you understand? Of course you do. Some of you do. And there are many of you, far more now, that are awakening than asleep, although many of you that are awakened are being very silent about it, as you are rightfully so concerned about your physical well-being around some of these demonic forces that are influencing the humans that are susceptible to them. That these demonic forces can affect and influence you deliberately and particularly and specifically. They are doing this. Even the innocent are being influenced by anger and rage and fear. And what is most difficult is those of you that are awakening, you must learn to be awake. You must learn to assert in the correct fashion, as you have been doing, many of you saying, this is not right. Do not allow another to speak and have their opinion. This is not right to do damage and harm to other people's creations. It is not right to judge quickly rather than be patient and wait and observe, allow things to grow and blossom a little bit. You want the plant to be growing out of the ground from seed immediately. You expect your results to come instantaneously, and this inordinate desire for immediate gratification does everyone harm. But reason, compassion, kindness, patience, those that are awakening are beginning to assert themselves more and more from that perspective. And those that are lost under the influence of anger and fear, judgment, well, they are getting far more sensitive to the truth, as the truth will set them free from these lower vibrational forces that are influencing so many of you right now. If you believe violence is the way, then you are in survival. It does not matter how rich or poor. We see that many of you are quite wealthy and still you are influenced by evil. And we see many that are poor that are as divine as the divine itself. It is not about money or possessions. It's about your being, what you are being. And you must understand that all of you collectively are participating in a creation here, both good and evil. You're creating your experiences here, and the world is part of that creation. You are influencing and affecting time, space, and matter. You're doing so, all of you. The functions of love will be very precise and specific. You've been asking the question, why are these tectonic activities increasing? Because your anger and your rage are increasing. You wonder why these volcanic mechanisms around the planet are getting more active, because your anger and your judgment, your rage, your impatience are getting more active. You cannot separate yourselves from this world and your role within it, and how you electromagnetically participate with everything, with your thoughts, your emotions, your considerations, your visions, your dreams, your aspirations. They all electromagnetically contribute to the process of creation. And it becomes very important then to consider that this world has been changed many, many times. You're very aware of this. Your archaeologists and your historians are well aware of the hundreds, if not thousands, of civilizations that have been revealed from under the sands and seas around this world, which is but a glimpse of what has been upon this planet, and in each and every instance of a civilization rising and falling. Like the seasons, the same is true for you as a human species, with the difference being that you, as a function of your own will, can contribute to what will or will not happen. And these lower vibrational energies are affecting what is happening upon this planet. When you stand screaming and yelling, attacking and harming one another, you are not just affecting the one you're directing that towards, you're contributing to the greater consciousness of this world as well, and it reacts and responds. Just as you react and respond if you are unthinking, your reactions and responses, if they come from your ego or if they come from your divinity, have very different influences upon your experiences in this world. And civilizations have risen and fallen by the electromagnetic interplay between the consciousness of each and the world around you. You are not separate. You are not separate from this earth. And you're not separate from your divinity. But you need to bring your divinity to earth and not remain separate from it in your anger and your rage and your judgment. You are electromagnetically affecting everything around you with every word you speak, with every action you take, with every thought you think. You are electromagnetically creating and contributing to what is occurring in this world. Many of you do not realize that what you are seeing is a co-creation between all of you. The good and the evil co-create as they interact with each other. And you must understand that you have this opportunity right now, right here, not tomorrow, but here and now. What you do here and now precipitates your tomorrow. And all of you have co-created what has happened upon this planet, what is occurring right now. You are co-creating in this. The greater your love, the greater the joy upon this planet, the greater your fear and anger, the greater your suffering upon this planet. And this cycle has been repeated countless times, with some civilizations being able to extend or prolong the existence of that civilization by the development and cultivation of their consciousness of love. The function of love is life extending. The functions of fear are life contracting. And only in the human realm do you have the freedom to gain awareness, to recognize the difference between that. The animal does not create neither good nor evil. It simply does what it needs to do, but it does not do anything outside of the spectrum of what it's capable of. But you, all of you, have the ability to affect everything simultaneously. And you are, through your love, through your anger, through your patience, through your judgment. You are collectively creating the experiences that you are all having together on this world. And you have the opportunity to realize your divinity or remain in your fear. And there are beings that you will encounter in fear, and there are beings you will encounter in your love and grace. There are forces, what you would call angels and demons. They exist in this world alongside of you, though you may not see them in the visual spectrum, but they can exist through other individual bodies. They can influence you. You can be influenced by them. You can communicate with them. You can recognize their presence. And if you are in the lower spectrum of fear, then the electromagnetic influence that you call forth will be that of the lower vibrational entities. If you are practicing and engaging in the function of love in its truest form, then you will attract the vibrational energies of those that are in alignment with that. Birds of a feather flock together. And the very nature of your creative process is that it does affect matter, time, and space. And as long as you remain ignorant of that fact, then you may scream and yell, and you may be angry and violent and aggressive, and be completely unaware of what you are creating in this world. And you may be really intelligent, compassionate, and patient and loving, and be unaware of the greater effect of what your love and your compassion and your kindness has upon the world. And so you have this opportunity to know that your awakening is here now. Choose your divinity over your fear. Choose patience over anger, love over fear, tolerance over judgment. Cultivate the knowing of now, the love of now, the being of that love here and now. You can see very clearly the embodiment of fear and the embodiment of love in individuals is very different. Those that are the embodiment closer to love than fear are more often than not vibrant and kind and generous and patient and persistent. Those that are living in fear are impatient and irritable, judgmental. It's very easy to recognize where are you on the spectrum. And yet millions of you will be conspiring in your demonic function, as millions of you will conspire in your divine function, and may not even know you are doing so. That you find your sense of meaning and value in being angry, in being judgmental, in being violent, in being aggressive, harming other people and their property. And you believe that you find importance and significance in that. And you do not realize that those little acts, those little thoughts, those little behaviors, they influence the greater spectrum of this world. On both polarities, that of your divinity or your egoic demonic nature, both are creative influences over your experience in this world. You can shorten or lengthen the duration of the time that you will have in this iteration of creation. You can shorten it or you can lengthen it. It is important you come to this awareness and understanding now. And you can easily evaluate, what did I do yesterday? Because you shall reap what you sow. When you harm another person, damage the efforts and fruits of their labor, you will reap that which you sow upon yourself. As those that prosper and prosper more are often doing the opposite. But any of you may begin to make this transition from fear back to love. And this will precipitate your awakening in the here and now. To resolve to surrender your violence and aggression. Because nothing is more important than returning to the source of who you truly are. This world is not the source of you. Your mind is not the source of you. Your emotions are not the source of you. Your God, your divinity is the source of you. Seek out that source. The infinite, all-knowing, all-powerful divinity. In that state of being, you would have very, very little concern or care about a policy or a procedure. Whether a person drives this car or that car, you'd be less concerned with that and more concerned with honoring, cherishing, and valuing the source of your life. The very source that allows you to do what you do, whether it is good or not so good. Pursue and know the source of your life. The source of your life is not in this world. It is within you. Which is why the statement from many of your religious texts are, the kingdom of the divine, the kingdom of God is within you. If they tell you it is there or there, no, it is within you. And it is love, and it is patience, and it is goodness. It is respectful and kind and creative and dynamic, without limit. Whereas the nature of fear is that it is very finite. It is the essence of the birth and death cycle. Fear is the essence. Lower vibrational energies are the essence of the birth and death cycle. And if you're caught in your ego, in your anger, in your fear, then you're stuck in that birth and death cycle, reincarnating again and again, returning to the same place you started, wondering why you are still struggling. Pursue love. Seek that life within you. And when you are angry and you are fearful and you are judgmental, you turn away from that. You turn to survival. You turn to the animus. You turn to the ego as the source of your identity. And when you realize that it is not the source of your identity, but that that love is the source of your identity, then you can begin to awaken. In the most profound and wonderful things will begin to unfold for you when you begin that journey and you refuse to indulge in these lower vibrational offerings that are given to you to stimulate your senses, to keep you trapped in the flesh as the only locus of your identity, to make you forget that there is a great, powerful, loving light within you with which you may reacquaint yourself and find the delight of your being as you truly are. Your awakening is here now. It is not before, it is not after, it is here now. In each moment that you are electing to choose whether you will live as a function of love or a function of fear, each will lead you to its own outcome. The seeds of fear and the seeds of love are very different in what they will grow in your life. And so you have a very short window of opportunity here as a collective species, but not one of you can escape the reality that in every thought you think, in every word you speak, in every act you do, you are electromagnetically contributing to this creation upon this world, influencing and affecting it, every one of you. Whether it is joy or rage, each has its own creation. Each produces its own outcome in your experience of existence. Each bears its own fruit. Now, when Master Jesus a few years ago said, William, there's a change happening on this planet because a large number of the people are polarized in fear, in anger, and have been manipulated that way. There are demonic forces that want you to objectify other people, that want you to be violent, want you to be aggressive. So there are demonic forces that will do that. And there are angelic forces here, angels that are encouraging you to move towards love and kindness and love one another. And he said, this dynamic that's going on has an effect on time and space. And he said, you've got a window of about 20 years. I think he said May of 2044, that there would be a great shift on the planet if humanity didn't, in these next 10 or 15 years, shift ourselves away from our lower vibrational influences to our divinity. That there would be another one of those transformational changes that happens on the planet that's a direct result of our consciousness. He likened it to, he said, you're familiar with electricity. If you've got a wire that's exposed and it's conducting electricity, you can put a little drop of water on that and affect how that electrical system works. It just takes a little drop of water to affect that system. And he said, it's like that. Your emotions, your thoughts are like those drops of water that can interfere with the electrical, or like the insulation that can wrap around it. Your love will sustain the life that you can have in this world. Your fear will shorten it. He mentioned too that there was a time, there was an iteration of society called Eden. It's referred to in the Bible. It existed about 72,000 years ago. And it was a time when this planet was almost completely temperate, where we did not need or want food or shelter or clothing because it was temperate all around the world. And that people got into greed and anger and control and power and authority, and it offset that balance, and it caused huge changes, not just in the planet, but in our solar system. We are electromagnetically interacting with everything around us at all points of time and space. Everybody. You are part of the game if you're here. You're part of this process. But he said that shift from fear to love that you can make right now can give you so much more here. As much as 2,000 more years. The function of love becoming embodied in our collective human unconsciousness could literally extend our civilization in a most wonderful, profound way for the next 2,000 years, as innovation and creation will provide the opportunity where we're not going to be struggling. But that place called Eden was an actual civilization that lived where people didn't have to cultivate food. It would grow everywhere and anywhere. It just grew because the environment was favorable to that. And after Eden, of course, was Atlantis and Lemuria and Mu and many other lesser civilizations in between those that could not get their wheels off the ground because they were too fear-based. And the more love-based a civilization is, he says, the more love-based a civilization is, the longer it exists. And there have been examples of civilizations that have lasted as much as 270,000 years because the love of that civilization was so endearing. And he said a lot of those people in those civilizations just simply ascended. They no longer needed to be in the body. They reunited with the divine. He said that some of the beings that you are, your Ayurvedas, your great mystics and yogis that are in the isolated places of this world know this full well. They're remnants of those civilizations of great human enlightenment. That was a real thing. Anyway, this is your time right now to make this choice for yourself. You need to realize that everything you think, say, and do is an electromagnetic influence, not only upon your own biology, but on the world around you. Every thought we think, every word we utter, every act we perform, you are contributing to creation. You can't escape that. Isn't that wonderful that you can stop and have pause and say, I can think this thought of joy, and I'm contributing joy to the whole system, not just putting it out to the people in front of you. You can move into a vibration of compassion and know that you're transmitting that to the whole system. And we're all part of this life grid here. You're a part of it. No matter how low vibrational your life might be, no matter how entrenched you are in suffering, no matter how established in love you are, everyone is contributing. And if you can become conscious of this fact, then you can ask yourself, what do I want to contribute to this life around me? Because when you start to give it to the world, it starts to come back. As you sow, you shall reap. If you're more angry, you'll get more experiences that represent and bring that forth. It's really elegantly simple. Like Jesus always says, ask and you shall receive, as you thinketh, so it shall be. So what you think is a form of asking, right? Keep that in mind. Even if you're living on the streets, you can start the process by simply saying, life can get better. Maybe the world isn't, maybe there's something I can do that's good. Start doing something good wherever you are in the spectrum and start shifting yourself from the lower influences of these demonic forces and start your journey back towards the kingdom of heaven within you, right? Doesn't matter where you are, what your position is, you can begin the journey now from fear back to love. It literally is true. It is within you. But you have to learn to give up everything that hides it from you, and your anger, your fear, your guilt, your shame, your judgment. They hide who you are from yourself. When you're in anger and you're in rage and you're in violence and you're in aggression, you separate yourself. You're in pain because you're separate from that. I don't care who you are. There's nobody on this planet when they're angry, they actually feel good. You might believe you feel good, but you're actually doing harm to yourself and to others, even if you're thinking it in your own mind. Anyway, I want to just let them share that message and contribute my little tiny piece to that. Yes, questions. Let's see what we got here. Good morning. Hey, Drusilla, good to have you back. Wonderful. Hi, Amanda. Hello. Let's see what we got here. Oh, for some reason it's not showing. Oh, well. Yes, it doesn't. Oh, there it is. How can I stop them from sending hysteria when my natural multi-sensory was just provided? just don't get into the fear. If you get into fear, you're not in your divinity. The minute you're like, someone's out to get me, you are actually contributing to that person coming out to get you. Bless them and wish them well. In the privacy of your own mind, you can affect and influence them that way as well. Hi, Casey. Good morning. Casey's asking, good morning. Is there a message for me? Thank you. The number one message is the very thing they say that you're learning is patience. Your patience will be your final liberation. The establishment of your patience will be your final liberation. That's pretty cool. I like that. Hi. Schumann resonance is affecting us too. Yes, it does. There's a galactic energy because there are other planetary species. There's a galactic consciousness. There's a solar consciousness. There's a could you grab those off the chair for me, please? Thank you, darling. There is those elements, but those elements interact with us. And when we interact with them from a different frequency, we can affect. Nikola Tesla proved it. He did an experiment in his building in New York State where he took a little hammer and he put it on a support beam down in the basement of the building. And the hammer began to tap on the beam at a certain frequency. After about 5 or 6 hours, they noticed there was a vibration happening in the building. And this thing kept going at the same frequency all the time, this little hammer. After 10 or so hours, the whole building began to shake. He had to stop the experiment. So that tiny little hammer, in relation to that massive building, could influence that greater mass by the nature and quality of the frequency being established. So your emotions, your thoughts, influence this world. And when we get aligned to love as a collective species, we can induce profound changes in this world. Yes, human resonance can affect us, but we can affect it. The Earth's magnetic field is becoming very unstable because we are unstable as a species. We are imbalanced. We're not flowing in harmony. And so there's a back and forth going on. So it's causing instability in the electromagnetic field because we are interacting with the system. That little tiny hammer that Nikola Tesla used, right? We can be like that little tiny hammer. Our vibration of love or our vibration of fear will work like that hammer and create different effects. So we can induce changes in the resonant field, the magnetic field, the solar emanations that are coming. They influence and affect, but we can also influence and affect. Size doesn't matter if you understand the physics behind it, and Tesla proved that. He proved it very elegantly and very simply, that a tiny little hammer could bring an entire building down. He said, if I had the place, I could literally shake the world apart. That's just from a little tiny physical hammer. Your thoughts are doing that all the time. The difference is most people's thoughts aren't consistent enough to produce a dramatic problem like that. Everybody's having different thoughts all the time. But yeah, it does influence us. Oh, wow. I've been angry from a coworker, and now I feel need to repair issue. Very enlightening. You're welcome. It's so important. Thank you for that point, Wendy. Really understand that we are all creative influencers. You don't have to have 1 billion followers or 1 million followers, and that makes you to become an influencer. You are an influencer, whether you're a mother, a father, a child, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick man. We are all influencers. And I'm really glad you said that, because all you have to do is go into a state of love and grace and correct it. Because the functions of love are life-serving. The functions of anger and fear are life-destructive, right? Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. Well, you'll be feeling a lot better after today. Remember, there are demonic forces on this planet. There are demons and there are angels on this planet with us all. And your emotional energy is the attractive or repelling force to either. If you're in anger, you're going to pull in demons. If you're in compassion and kindness, you're going to pull in angelic energies. They exist. They're real things. They may not be physical in the sense, but they're energetic. They exist. Keep that in mind. And a lot of people are being influenced by demonic forces, and a lot of people are being influenced by angelic forces. It's really easy. If you watch them, by their fruits you shall know them. I've watched people on YouTube. You see some of the people that are destroying private property, keying Teslas, and then watching them being confronted, and they go, "Well, that wasn't me." No, and then they realize they were caught on camera. They go, "Well, that was me." And they go, "Oh, that was really stupid of me to do that," because you were influenced by a demon. Demons love destruction, pain, and suffering. Angels love life, growth, happiness, union, peace. Very easy to know whether or not you're being influenced by a demon or an angel. Very easy. Very easy. Very, very easy. People being excited about destroying one of the most incredible companies ever built in the United States, Tesla Automotive, a company providing 100,000 jobs, helping thousands of pension plans prosper for many years. And you think it's a heavenly force that would cause you to go out and destroy that, to harm 100,000 other people? And you think that's justified? Only a demon would justify that, right? An angel would say, be patient. Your life does not depend upon what they do or say. Your life depends on you, on whether you're going to function as love or you're going to function as anger. Watch what you're doing. Watch how you're being influenced. A lot of people are doing it. People that commit crimes or murders, and they go, well, I don't know why I did it. Because they were influenced by a demon. And when you start getting into lower vibrational energies like anger and fear, rage, you're going to be influenced by these lower vibrational energies. So you must let those emotions go. You must learn how to let go of the influence of these lower vibrational emotions. And you can do it. But you can't have an excuse. If you've heard this today, there's no more excuse. You can easily determine if you're being influenced by love or you're being influenced by fear, angels or demons. Which will you choose? When Jesus said, follow me, he refers to getting into alignment with the function of compassion and kindness and love, because it was divine. And the opposite is true for the lower vibrational forces. You can follow one or the other, but you can't follow both. Someone's asking, do we have a specific individual purpose other than elevation and becoming love? Absolutely. You do have a purpose. Your purpose might be to be a mom or a dad. Your purpose might be to be a builder, an architect. Your purpose might be to be an adventurer, an explorer. Your purpose is to do the thing that makes your love flourish, that makes your heart happy and soar, that makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Do the things that elevate you. And some of those things can be really hard, like learning to become something you've never been before, learning to become a doctor or a lawyer, or learning to become an auto mechanic, learning to be something you've never been before can be really hard sometimes. But when you get there, it's kind of like, yeah. So the effort can be well worth the time that you spend on it, right? So yeah, everybody's got a purpose. You can find it. It's usually found in the things that give you joy when you're doing them. Good morning, Alexander. Good to see you. Hi. How do we find out what our purpose is? The simplest way they gave me to find out what my purpose was, the simplest way to find out what your purpose is to notice the things that give you joy. Notice the things that when you look at them or you experience them, they make you happy, because then there's a connection to that. The more you focus on the things that give you joy, the closer you're going to come to activating that within yourself that is of that joy. That's the simplest way they gave me. You start noticing things that give you joy when you do them. Yes. Question from Katrina. What are the next steps for me with Siwa Murti? Is this a group and modality that I should stay involved with? Getting mixed signals. Thank you so much. If you're getting mixed signals, you're disconnecting from your inner knowing. If you're waiting for the signals out there, even in asking for this message, Be mindful. Look inside yourself for the clarity that is within you to know this is right in here, that I would do this. The two match up. But if you're dependent upon the information around you to define for you who you are, that can be very difficult. But check within yourself. Is this in alignment? You can know within. Don't depend on the cue. Does this feel an alignment in here? Or is this in alignment in here? What is in alignment? You must choose from the inside, not from the outside. Close your eyes. Be aware of these options you have before you. Which one makes your heart open? Which one makes your heart close? It will become very easy to make a discernment when you become aware of how your heart feels about these things. I love that. That's really nice. Thank you for that butterfly. I really appreciate it. You're very welcome. Is John still with me? Yes, Kathy. John is still with me. He's more of a watcher. He says there's a few more areas a few more hurdles I have to go over before he moves on, which I'm trying to tackle the hurdles and not avoid them. Wonderful. Good job, Wendy. I haven't been feeling right. Glad to have heard you speak. I'm glad you did too. Yeah, the butterfly effect. Will my friend, Bazi is asking, will my friend Marcuse reunite, Marius reunite with his son? I'm getting told, yes, that will happen, that he should rejoice in that now. Question from Drusilla. Did humanity fall ourselves, or were we attacked by the dark? It was both. When humanity shifts itself, just as when any individual shifts himself from patience and kindness to anger and irritation and frustration, the minute you shift to a lower vibrational energy, you align to energies that are like that. You'll pull in those energies, entities, if you want to call them that. Or if you align yourself to love and you say, surrender your anger, you give up your fear and say, no, I'm going to choose the function of love. You will shift and align your energy to higher divine functions. Yes. Thank you for that super chat, Amanda. Hello, William. My son has a flu. May I ask Archangel Raphael for some additional healing and love? Yes, absolutely. Let your son know that his body is becoming stronger. It's now preparing how to manage that particular creature in this world. Let him know that his body is becoming stronger and healthier. Let him know this. Yes, and Raphael will move to him now. Thank you so much. Make certain he drinks lots of water. Don't force him, but get him to drink. Get him to become sensitive to how much water. See, heat means cooling. When the body gets hot, as in a flu, it needs more water, less food. When it's cold, the body needs fuel. When the body's cold, it needs fuel, food. It's very simple. The body's a very simple instrument. So give him more water. Make certain it's room temperature water. Room temperature water is the best for his system at this time. Yes. So his body needing more water. It'll flush it out really quickly too. Hi. Question. One moment I thought UFO, and then looking across the field, I saw lights in triangular shape. My husband too. Was it a UFO? Yeah. The minute you start to think about those energies, they'll come. There are other beings in the cosmos that function very differently. There are different phases of perception and consciousness. There are different bandwidths of dimension that you can't see. There's beings that are walking around us right now that are in a different phase than we are. Just like there are radio waves and TV waves going all around us. So yeah, that's wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. Congratulations. We did a show about 5 years ago. One of our students in Germany, two of our students in Germany had heard that this crop circle had just literally appeared near Munich, and they end up going down to the crop circle right away. And we did a whole live stream on that. You'll find that on my YouTube channel under my video section, where we did that whole transmission from Commander Adama and the Galactic Federation of Light, who put that crop circle there. But yeah, they do exist, UFOs. Thank you for that super chat, Priscilla. Love you too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wilderness is asking, could you tell me specifically what would be my greatest purpose? What would make me be of greatest use? To align yourself to your divinity, to put what you call God in your heart before all other considerations, to align yourself to the will, the way, the love, and the light of God. In that, you will be given the revelation of your purpose. Place that above all other considerations, and you will know this. In that place, being close and connected to the all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful, you will know the function of your purpose. When you align to that all-knowing, remember, yes. Wonderful. That's really wonderful. Thanks for asking that question. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Question from Danielle. Hi, William, Drusilla, and everyone. Wishing you the greatest love of all. Aho. Thank you, Danielle. Miigwech. Appreciate that. Hello from Canada. Yeah. Well, it's been a wonderful time with you guys. I want to say thank you to the Divine Collective for being present with us today and sharing their wisdom and their knowledge. And I want to thank all of you for your questions and your considerations and your curiosity. Remember, if you've enjoyed this adventure today, remember to like, subscribe, share this information with others. Remember, we go live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that want to have your friends and others that might find comfort and solace in this wisdom and knowledge that comes through me. And again, I'm going to wish you all much, much love. And I will see you guys on Wednesday edition of Shortcuts to Your Soul. Bye for now, everybody. Take care.